What is good, you guys? What is good? We have to talk about Travis Hunter and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And just honestly, should they play him at cornerback? Should they play him at wide receiver? And my thing is with Travis Hunter is I'm like, I don't really see why we can't see him on both. I don't. Like, people are acting like it's some insane thing, like he has to play full snaps on offense or defense. And my thing is if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, right? You look at them. So Brian Thomas Jr. kind of had a weird year, right? Didn't have a breakout year like we watched his rookie year. And then you have Jacoby Myers coming over from the Raiders. Jacoby Myers was balling out. He's catching everything. He's catching everything for a team that doesn't, has a lot of drop, has a dropping problem. Then you got the emergence of Parker Washington, who I did a video on. Got to mention that, just in case you Jags fans missed it. And Parker Washington came along. Parker Washington was balling. I mean, he looked like he was a lower pick for them. Kind of looked like much wasn't going to happen first 2 years, and then he just popped off third year. So you have guys on the offensive end, right? It's not like you don't have weapons on the offensive side. Sure, you could go out and get another wide receiver, but the way I'm looking at it, have him on offense. Have Travis Hunter on offense. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yo, you're not subscribed? Come on, man. Why are you not subscribed? Be sure to drop a like on this video as well while you're at it. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. Drop any topic of discussion, any question in there. We can make a video on it. Even if you have a player, we can do some film review on them as well. All right, now let's get back to the video.
Have him on there and have him in there for like, what, 15, 17 snaps? Like, you don't have to have him in the full game as a full starter. Put him in set so packaged, like certain packages you could have Travis Hunter in. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then on the other side of the ball, right, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because say you want to have him in 50-50 or 40-60, just something crazy. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, they were phenomenal this last year. Like, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense was so good in so many team defensive statistics. They were just balling out there. And a guy that I've been talking about, a guy that I like his game, right? He was really good in the contract year, was Monteric Brown. Now, I don't know if the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to re-sign Monteric Brown to a contract or not. I don't. I don't know if they're going to keep him. But in the case of them being, kind of in the unknown whether they keep him or not, which the way he played this last year, I assume Monteric Brown is going to get a pretty damn good contract. If they don't keep Monteric Brown, you would then have to have Travis Hunter on the other end. You would have to play him at cornerback. So just the way I'm thinking, I'm like, I see him more as a corner. I see him at the cornerback position more than I do wide receiver. I think he's phenomenal at both. I thought he was phenomenal in both in college. But I'm like, dude, I feel like the cornerback position in this league is more valuable. Some people may disagree with that, but I feel like the cornerback position is more valuable. And just like, I feel like it's easier to get a wide receiver. Not saying it's a position that's easy to draft, because not every wide receiver is going to work out in the NFL. Like, you got to find a quality starter, right? As we know, getting star wide receivers is not easy. I mean, we just saw the drop from Brian Thomas Jr. from his rookie year to his next year. So it's not an easy position to, draft. But the difference between the cornerback and wide receiver is the wide receiver, you can scheme guys open. Like, smart offensive minds like Liam Cohen, they can scheme guys open. With the cornerback position, scheme guys open off of their talents, right? You gotta have some talent. You can't just scheme anybody and everybody out there, regular Joe Schmo, right? But as opposed to the cornerback position, you gotta have some dogs at that position. And I mean, some teams struggle with their cornerback position. Some teams don't have good corners, but those teams that have good corners are those teams that have the better defenses in the NFL. And I look at Travis Hunter and I'm like, dude, he showed in his rookie year that he can be a starting corner. He showed that he could be, get better and better, build off it and be a pretty damn good corner. The cornerback position is different than the wide receiver position, because you can't just scheme guys into whatever. Like, they got to have smarts. They got to have really good situational awareness, especially when it comes to zone coverage, right? You got to have a guy that you can't just throw anybody and everybody in there. And especially, I go off a zone, especially in man-to-man. A man-to-man corner, you got to have a guy that's talented. Those better cornerbacks that we see in the NFL, they're guys that are just extremely talented. I see that in Travis Hunter. I think he's a guy that's a good zone. I think he's a good man corner. I think he's a guy in between. I think he's a guy that you could just keep out on the field all game. So for that reason, I'm like, dude, I see him as more of a corner than a wide receiver. But I don't think he needs to stay on just the defensive side. I think you can put him in, like I said, 15, 17 plays on offense, certain packages. Let him get a little bit of both, right? He wants to play both ways. But that cornerback position it's tough. It's tough. And a guy that's as talented as Travis Hunter, bro, you got to force him more into that cornerback. But hey, make him happy and put him in on the offense, you know? Put him in the offense and let him help them a bit too. But have him as your primary, you know, one of your primary corners, because you got to have a good defense in this league. You got to have a good defense in this league, and you got to continue what just happened. You got to build off of what we just watched this past year with their defense. And, you know, you can't be having your passing defense just giving up anything and everything. This past year showed us that the past 2 years, the past 2 Super Bowls we've watched, Philadelphia, Seattle, both teams with phenomenal cornerback play. The Jags gotta have that, bro. Like, you can scheme a wide receiver open. You can't scheme a cornerback into playing good football. That just doesn't happen. Either a guy has it or he doesn't have it.